Hi, I'm Angela Kelman, professional singer, vocal coach, and author of the 5-Point Singing System. And today I'm going to do a vocal warm-up with you that really concentrates on vowel work. And why is vowel work so important? Well, point 5 in the 5-Point Singing System is vowel modification. When we speak, we can afford to say an E sound and pull back the sides of our mouth. But when we sing and we are ascending into our vocal range, that kind of E feeling can really create a lot of strain as we go up into our range. So I'm going to teach you how to modify vowels and do some vowel work so that when you start ascending in your vocal range and hitting more bigger, higher notes with more power, the slight adjustment that you make with your vowels will help the note become freer and feel more effortless, provided you are taking in the correct singer's breath, air in, tummy out, and you are engaging the right amount of diaphragm support for wherever you are in your range, because those things work hand in hand. Point 1, breathing. Point 2, diaphragm support. And point 5, vowel modification. Typically, vowels can easily be modified by just slightly dropping your jaw. For example, on an E sound, we don't want that pulling back of the mouth, E. We want to go E. It still sounds like E, but as you can see, my jaw was dropped instead of pulled back towards my ears. So it's just those slight changes can make all the difference when you are vocalizing to create less tension, less strain, and have the notes float effortlessly, which is our goal as a singer. Because nobody wants to struggle with a song that has tension through it, and sometimes it's as simple as just dropping your jaw. And on the flip side of the coin, if you're an audience member, no one wants to hear a singer who's straining. That makes people tense up, and it's not a good thing. So anyway, let's start with the first exercise, which I call the ah-E exercise. So again, I need to turn on my piano. I do. There we go. It's on now. So if you're a boy, just join in on your lowest note when you can. Obviously, we're in a girl range. So the exercise is on a 1, 3, 5, 8 pattern of the major scale. So it's going to sound like this. Ah-E, 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 ah. And if you watch my mouth, I'm not pulling back the sides on that E sound. And it's going to get more defined as we go up into the range of my voice and your voice, that jaw has to drop a little bigger. So remember to take your singer's breath, air in, tummy out, and you'll need to take about a 60% capacity breath of your tank for this particular exercise in this range. So here we go, taking your breath. Ah-E, 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 ah. Great. Release any leftover air and take a new breath. Ah-E, 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 ah. Now the reason I did that was because we need to engage some diaphragm support in this range, so you're pulling that diaphragm muscle, your abdominal wall, back towards your backbone to pop that note up into good place, good pitch. New breath. Ah-E, 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 ah. Same thing there. Okay, now we're getting up into a range where we probably have to flip into our mask area, which is the lighter, airier sounding tonality. Right? So it's going to sound like this. And the mechanics of this particular pass, keep your jaw dropped. So you're going to take your breath, engage diaphragm support for the first 3 notes, keep your jaw dropped nice and open on both vowel sounds, and then on the top note, just let go of the diaphragm support so that it goes to more of a light little plunge down instead of the big pull to the backbone. So here we go. Big singer's breath. It was getting exponentially bigger as we were going into the higher range. Ah-E, 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 ah. And now if only I would play the right note, then it'd all be good. Let's do it again. Ah-E, 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 ah. So what I did is I let go on that top note. I did the wrong hand signal, but let go. Okay, so one more time. Ah-E, 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 ah. So there's a lot going on there. I'm taking about a 75% breath of my tank, air in, tummy out. For the first 3 notes, I'm starting to engage a fair amount of diaphragm support. For the top note, I let go and let it kind of plunge down, and it flips me up into that lighter mask area placement. Then on the descent, I re-engage the diaphragm support. So let's try that again. Good. Same thing here. The first three notes are going to be pretty air demanding and diaphragm demanding. Top note will flip. Take your breath. So I've still got great power on those first three notes. Same thing here. Breathe. That's not the chord. Here we go. And watch my mouth. I'm not going I'm not pulling the sides of my mouth back towards my ears. Okay, let's try that one again. My jaw is nice and dropped. Same thing here. And on the descent, you really have to pull quite substantially to get back into that correct placement out of your mask back into your diva rock star, which is diaphragm and air demanding. I have a bit of a cold today, so that's why I'm squeaking a little bit. Let's go down. Same thing, we're going to flip on the top note by letting go of the big diaphragm support, and that will flip us up into mask. Here we go, take your breath. Good. Now that is a B chord. For me, it's a transition chord. I can do it either in mask or I can do it with diva. So now I'm going to maintain that big diaphragm support all the way through. I'm not flipping this time. So here we go. Remember to pull hard on the top. Breathe. Good. Same thing here. Drop jaw. Great. You're sounding way better than I am, I can tell. So that is the little rule of thumb. If the sequence of events is always, as I explained before, breathing, pulling with your diaphragm support, and dropping that jaw, okay? So I always use Adele's Rolling in the Deep as an example of how to modify the vowels. On that top note, deep, it's a tight, deep, an EE vowel sound. So what you want to do is think about taking in a breath as close to the big note as possible, engaging the diaphragm support that's required to stay in that diva placement. But she does something really cool. She flips up into her mask halfway through deep. She almost makes deep a three-syllable word. So I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to breathe before rolling. I'm going to pull on the deep. I'm really going to drop my jaw. And in the middle of deep, I'm going to let go of that diaphragm support, flip up to my mask, engage the diaphragm support again, and then go back to diva. Rolling in the deep. And did you see my mouth? I wasn't deep, I was deep. I'm Canadian, A. I think A and I sing E. Rolling in the deep. Works, hey? Oh, my glasses make it look like I have horns when I lift my head like this. I don't. Angela, angel with an A. Okay, moving on. So that is, if you take one thing away from this exercise, I want you to really concentrate on dropping that jaw and creating that space this way rather than pulling this way. And a lot of vocal coaches will say smile when you sing. Now, I have an issue with that because when you smile and sing, it creates tension all the way down into your jaw and all the way down your throat. Not the best thing for singers. So I say smile with your eyes, okay? So there's a way to smile with your eyes and look effervescent and exuberant through your eyes, and you don't have to sing like this because it's too tight. So make sure your vowel shape is really good and your jaw is dropped. On the second exercise we're going to do today, it has a double effect, I guess is the word. A double meaning. We're going to keep our jaw dropped on all the vowel sounds, and it's a capacity exercise. So it's on the 5 pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you're going to change the vowel sounds, and I will do an example for you. So take in a big singer's breath. You're going to have to maximize your tank on this one, 100% or close to it, and you're going to sing all of these vowels like this. had enough breath because I was in a lower range. I'm in my chest voice placement where my low notes live, and I'm just starting to get into my mid-range placement, fuller speaking placement where my mid-range notes live, okay? So as we go up, it's going to get more air demanding, more jaw-dropping demanding, and more diaphragm support demanding. So here we go. Let's try it. We're going to do that with you singing with me. Follow the vowels. Here we go. Breathe. Now, even on the O and the OO, I'm quite dropped, creating space inside my mouth so there's no tension coming from my jaw or down into my throat. Moving up. Breathe. Good. And on the O and the OO, I just slightly bring in my lips a little bit to create the OO, but I still have that big openness on the inside. Going up. Ooh, this is a B. I might have to watch my hands. Here we go. Great. And what's happening is your diaphragm support is kind of pulling and maintaining a platform. So pull and hold to keep the good pitch of those patterns and the fluidity and the length of the patterns, okay? Big breath. And I'm slightly pulling on every end of every vowel. That's what you need to do to pop those notes into the right pitch. Okay, bigger breath, bigger pulls, bigger drops. See how relaxed and dropped my jaw is? Now we're getting up into that neighborhood that is really super, super diaphragm demanding. This is the big, big notes that you will be singing in your rock star and diva placement. So it means big breath, big pull, big drop. Took a lot of power, took a lot of energy. If you don't feel connected to that big diaphragm support, there's a little trick that I use, and it's called the calling voice exercise. So if I were across a busy street from you and you said, "Hey Angela, come for coffee with me up the block," I'm always up for that. What would you do? How would you get my attention? Well, when we call, what physically happens is we take in a great big breath. We do a great big pull with purpose towards our backbone of our diaphragm muscle, and then we drop our jaw. So I'm going to turn away a little bit from the microphone so I don't flatline it, redline it. Here we go. Hey! Huge power. It all came from here. I was not yelling. There was no, really your throat was only a vehicle for the sound to come through because I took a breath, pulled really hard, dropped really big. Hey! See how big I am? And all of a sudden this huge sound came out. So that's kind of the diaphragm support that we are using in that diva rock star placement where all those big notes live. Let's do it one more time, thinking about that calling voice. Breathe. Great. Gives you lots of power. Okay, so conversely, now I'm going to flip you into your mask. So we're going to find it by singing me. It's lighter and airier. The diaphragm support changes from the big breath, big pull, big drop. You're still dropping, but you're more taking in a 50-60% breath and just slightly pushing down or letting go altogether. Some people like the sensation of pushing down. It's different from this. And some people just like to say let go and let it float. So by putting a in front of the first E, we're going to find where those notes resonate in our mask area, and that's where it changes to the lighter, airier sound. So breathe, about a 50-60. Me, I should have taken in a bit more breath because I was running and I made a mistake on the second vowel, but you got it. Here we go. We're going up one more. So I'm going to take about a 65% breath and we're just going to lightly push down. Put the M in front of it again. Okay, so it's a different sounding placement altogether. It's where I flipped into the rolling in the deep example and then got back out of it. Dido, singer from the 90s and early 2000s, or maybe it was 2000s, she, and I want to thank you, little flip. Sarah McLachlan uses that little flip trick. There's a lot of singer-songwriters and singers in general that can use that little flip trick because what happens, it creates texture within the body of your song, and texture can be emotion, and so it just adds a little bit of sparkle to your songs. So knowing how to do that is great. But you want to be aware of when it's appropriate to use it and when it's not, because you can't sing Aretha Franklin's R-E-S-P-E-C-T in Mask. You will sound like your grandma in church. Okay, just a little warning there. So let's stay with the mask area for a couple more. So we're going to put that take your breath. Me, I ran out of air. Here, which brings me to a point. If this is too much for you right off the top, only go to the O and drop the ah. Just do the patterns up to there, okay? And that's okay too, because you're building stamina. I'm going to do it one more time. Me, you'll learn to gauge how big your breaths need to be. And that's not only for an exercise like this, but it's also in the body of your song. Sometimes you'll only have a 3-word phrase in your low register that in your chest placement, and you're not going to take an 80% breath for that. You might take a 20 or 30. So you'll get really good at knowing how big of a breath you have to take at each breathing point in the song. Okay, let's do one more mask. So I'll put the to get us up here. Me, and I'm really out of air about that last one. It's a long exercise. I could play a little faster, but it's building stamina. For guys, that's kind of your falsetto. You know, the Bee Gees. You can tell by the way I use my walk, I'm a woman's man, right? So that's where you'd use it, or some of the early 60 doo-wop groups and stuff used that. I'm so stuck in the 60s and 70s, I apologize for the outdated references, but go through your mom's record collection if you have to and find out who it is. Okay, awesome. So now we're going back to the big breath, big pull, especially on the top note, and big jaw drop to get that big diva rock star calling voice kind of sound. So we're going to drop the M because we don't want the vibration anymore. We want to move it down here. E. Great. And you won't necessarily have to use all that power all the time for those notes, but it's really a good thing to tap into in case you need it. New breath. Always important to release any leftover air and take in a new breath. And we'll talk about why at another tutorial. See how I'm singing ah as in saw, not apple? The minute I change a soft A or short A from ah, saw to apple, sides of my mouth pull back. So be very aware that that ah sound is like the word saw. The diaphragm demand is becoming less as we go down into our range, right? Great, so well done. So a little vocal warm-up that concentrates predominantly on vowels and the shape of your mouth to create the more open or tall vowels, which will make it much easier to sing in your higher register. So remember to breathe Use the right amount of diaphragm support for whatever range that you're in, and drop the jaw to modify the vowels. And really, you should be dropping your jaw in most ranges of your voice. It'll just let go of any tension that's created by certain shapes of vowels that when we speak, see, we can't use as we ascend in our vocal range. Till next time, happy singing. Come visit me at www.5pointsingingsystem.com. See ya.